Hey guys, welcome back to Barry's Corner. It's Emily here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys all my favorite books from 2021. There are 9 books on this list, so I promise I'll be quick with it. However, if you have seen a couple of my other videos, these are books that I do talk about a lot. So if you've watched my videos for a while, this may be a bit repetitive, but this is more for newcomers here on my channel. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Emily. Welcome to the channel. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. These are such good books. I recommend every single one of them to you. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. All of my social links are down in the description box below, as well as my Amazon wishlist if you would like to give me a book. Now let's get on into the video. The first book that I want to talk about is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. This is a YA romance that follows Pepper and Jack, and both of their families has a fast food restaurant. And Pepper's family stole Jack's family's grilled cheese recipe. Their ship name is Pepper Jack. Cheese. I love it. It's so cute. I love it so much. A lot of people try to shy away from YA romances, especially recently. I don't really know why, but this one is definitely so worth it. There's so many levels to it. They go to the same high school. It's kind of an annoyance to lovers trope. They become friends, and then there's also an anonymous app in their school, and they're talking anonymously. Although it might seem like a lot, Emma Lord does so good with making all levels and layers go together and work together. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. All of these books I really gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. But it's so good, and it's one of my favorites. I realized I say so good a lot. It's just because they're so good. But the next one is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. If you know of the Cruel Prince series, this is the last book in the series. I definitely did not really enjoy The Cruel Prince, but each book kept getting better and better. If you don't really know what The Cruel Prince is about, it's about a girl named Jude, and her family was killed by fairies, and that same fairy took her to the land of fairy, where she wants to become a part of the fairy court. A lot of fairies in that sentence. But there's a mean guy named Carden, and he's horrible. Romance ensues, maybe? I don't know. But I really enjoyed this. I think because it was such a slow burn throughout the whole entire series, and finally we got the ending. We got that satisfaction. We finally got to see the relationship form. The family dynamic was awesome. There's so many twists in this series, and especially in this book. So it was a 5 out of 5 stars. The best out of the series. I'm so excited to reread it. I really wasn't going to after I read The Cruel Prince, but so worth it just to get to this book. I told you guys I would be going fast. Hopefully this is fast enough, but the next book is Transcendent Kingdom by Yagi Yasi. I know I talk about this book a lot, but it really has my whole entire heart, and I loved reading it for the first time this year. Basically, it's about a girl named Gifty, and her brother died of a heroin overdose, and her mom, when she was younger, fell into a depression, and so she tried to help her with her faith when she was younger, and now that she's older, she is majoring in neurosurgeon, I believe, or something with the brain. And her mom fell into another depression, and now she's trying to help her with her major this time. It really kind of goes back and forth between her younger life and what she's doing right now in the lab. And she really struggles with grief, and shows her struggle with grief, and shows her struggles with the idea of addiction, with racism, her family dynamic, which is insane. Such a good family dynamic. Not a good family dynamic, but powerful, and how she wrote it was so good. It's one of my favorite things. It talks about faith, it talks about science, it talks about everything in between. Such a powerful story. One of my favorites, and all-time favorites, 100%. Next up is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is a mystery thriller novel, and oh my gosh, I love this book so much. It basically follows a girl named Sadie, and she has a sister named Maddie, and Maddie was one day killed, and she thinks she knows who it is. And so she goes and she tries to find Maddie's killer, and she just disappears. She doesn't really have a good home life. Like, her mom left her. I believe she stays with her grandma, and she also has a stutter, which I just like to mention because I never had read a main character with a stutter before. So if you're looking for that representation, really good in this book. But then on the other hand, it follows another guy who is trying to find Sadie, and he's kind of doing it through the form of a podcast. Like, he's telling his audience how he found her, or like what the steps he went through to find her. It was so good. I loved it. I know I say so good a lot. I know that's annoying, but it was so good. It was genuinely just so gripping. Again, one of my another favorite of the year. So good. This next book I'm going to be rereading in December, and it is The White Book by Hong Kong. This book, the insides are stunning, but also the cover is so simplistic and beautiful. I love it so much. This is basically a translated work from Korean, and it is the exploration of the color white through grief. And the inspiration for this is the author's sister dying right when she was born. She didn't really get to meet her, know her at all. It basically shows all of her struggles that she feels, what the mother might have felt, the daughter that died. It is separated into 3 different parts, and it is very short. It's so good though. It packs a punch. It's so impactful. It really gets you thinking, and since it is so simple and short, it is a perfect way to get into translated work. So if that's something that you're really interested in, it's so good. It's so good. The next one shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. It is The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. I read this during a 24-hour readathon. I'll try to leave it up in the cards. I think it's there. I don't know, or down below. But basically this is a World War II novel, and it's told in the perspective of death, which is, you would think is horrible, but he is so funny and comedic, and he's just perfect. He gives a lot of foreshadowing, and you're like, Death, what are you doing? Why are you giving all of this foreshadowing? I can kind of know what to expect now, but no, you don't. No, you don't. Death is telling this little girl named Lethal's story, and she is an orphan to some Nazi Germans, and they are also housing a Jew. So it's kind of crazy. It is so beautiful, so much heartbreak. It is just like, how can this 14-year-old girl deal with this much? I cried in this book. I sobbed. I don't know why I waited so long to read this book. It was a buddy read with me, my uncle, and my aunt. We all loved it. It was such a cool moment with us. So read this book if you haven't already. 3 more books to go. We're going pretty fast. The next book is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Another YA thriller mystery. I am not really into thriller mysteries, not because I don't like them, but it's very hard for me to get into them. So once I actually do, I fall in love. This is about a girl named Pip, and in her hometown, there was a girl named Andy Bell who was murdered by her boyfriend, Sal Singh, and then he killed himself after. This sounds very gruesome, but I also want to say that in both Sadie and in this one, there is talk about murder and all this stuff in Sadie, sexual assault, like child predators. But since it is a YA, it does not delve in deep. It's not, for a lot of people, it doesn't really trigger a lot, but just in case if you are sensitive, definitely look up the trigger warnings. But anyway, the case is closed since he killed himself, and Pip was like, that doesn't seem like the Sal I knew. So for her senior project, she reopens the case and tries to figure out everything and try to prove Sal innocent. It is so good. I love Pip as the main character. She's so naive. I think that's one of the things that I liked and didn't like. She's very naive, but also just so innocent and pure-hearted that she just wants to help everybody out. There's 2 more books, I believe, in this. There's a series, and I really want to read them so bad. So let me know what you guys thought of the rest of the series, because this one exceeded my expectations. Guys, I can't believe that there's not a lot of romance on this list, because all I read is romance. The next book is The End Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. I just want to give a quick shout out to Beach Read by Emily Henry. I believe it's in my dorm room, so I don't have it with me, but oh my gosh, I love that book so much. 5 out of 5 stars. Literally just made me want to read everything Emily Henry has ever written in her entire life. But for right now, The End Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. I've read 3 books by her, or them, because it's an author duo. And basically this one is about a girl named Olive Torres, and she's the unlucky twin, and her twin is actually getting married at the moment. And everybody basically gets food poisoning in the ceremony except for Olive and the brother of the groom, and they hate each other, but they go on the honeymoon together because it's non-refundable, and they kind of fall in love on this trip. I love this book. I thought The Enemies to Lovers was one of the best enemies to lovers I've ever seen in my entire life, because it had such a good balance between the annoying moments and the cute moments. It was they are so cute together. I love them so much. Definite reread. I think I give this a 4.75 stars, which is really close to 5 stars, but it's one of my favorites of the year. So cute. Pick it up. I know it's overhyped, but pick it up. Now, if you stayed to the end, I really appreciate you, but this book is, I think, one of my absolute favorite of all time. It is An Emotion of Great Delight by Todd Hamafi. Whew, I love this book so much, you have no idea. I read it recently, and boy, did it change my life. Basically, it's about a girl named Sadie, and she is Muslim, and it's 2003, after, 9/11 in 2001, and the US finally declared war on Iraq, and basically she's living in a personal hell. Her brother died, her father is in the hospital, her mother's severely depressed. She's depressed herself. Her sister kind of hates her, and her friend mysteriously dropped out of her life. Toxic. Oh, you need to read the book. It's so good. I'm like already getting upset, like for her already after I read it. Basically, it goes back between 2002 when her and her friend were having problems to 2003, which is current. And ooh, it's so good. I love it so much. So emotional, so impactful. Like I was tearing up the whole time. Like literally just. Oh my gosh, Taha Mafi's writing as well, one of my favorite things about her, and that's why I love the Shatter Me series. Such lyrical, beautiful writing. There is a little bit of a romance in here that you guys will absolutely love. It's not like overbearing. It's definitely not overbearing at all, but definitely so good. The ending, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the ending. I cannot believe you guys haven't read this yet. If you haven't, please, like, literally go follow me on Instagram and DM me, and like we can have a whole conversation about this book because I loved it so much. The only thing I didn't like was there was a random character that was introduced, I think named David, and I was like, why is he in this book? This is so weird. It was just weird. Literally one of my favorites of all time now. Taha Mafi, so good. I will also say she made another contemporary novel about a Muslim named A Very Large Expanse of Sea. I have it somewhere over here. And it was good. I gave it 3 stars, but I found on Goodreads that if you loved A Very Large Expanse of Sea, you will not like this book. And if you like this book, you probably didn't really love A Very Large Expanse of Sea. And I think this is for a larger, like a more grown audience. Covers heavier topics. The other one's so good, but you know, this one's best of all time. Okay, that was the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I also hope that this wasn't too repetitive for the people that have been watching me for a while. Thank you guys for watching again. Please subscribe, comment down below, and like this video. Do whatever you want to do. Have a happy holiday season, and goodbye.